Sight, new, Hank, go, big sight. Y'all know how this shit go, you know. All eyes on me.
Roll up in the club and shit.
All eyes on me. All eyes on me.
What's up? What's up? Glad you guys can make it in on a Tuesday night. Man, we got some hot topics going on tonight. Man, Bama football. How about them Cowboys? We got all kind of stuff happening around college. Man, there's just been so much in the world of sports that makes you feel good just to be back part of it. Special shout out real quick though, man. You know, it's very cool to have some blessings that come from people, man. We work, you know, I work too. What's up, Bryce? Good to see you. We work and we spend a lot of time being stressed. And, you know, me and my wife caught a blessing today, and I don't know who it was. And y'all sometimes hear me talking about paying it forward. You know, recently I paid for someone's food at a restaurant. And well, lo and behold, that kind of happened today to me and Consuela. We were sitting there and we had us a little happy hour and some food and things. And dude was waiting forever. I was kind of getting frustrated again, right? I'm like, man, this dude taking forever to bring me my check. And he come over and he says, well, somebody actually paid for you guys' tab. You know, have a great day. And I was like, oh, wow. So whoever that was, if you were sitting at Chili's today and you blessed Consuela and I don't know if you knew who I was or who we were, if you were just doing something out of kindness of your heart, I do appreciate it because, you know, it makes the world a better place when we do great things for people. So I appreciate it. So I want to get into a topic really quick because it does have me having fired up a little bit. And this is about Mike McCarthy and the call he didn't make, I guess, at the end. So ever since the game, I've been hearing about Mike McCarthy not having the clock management tools that needed to happen there at the end of the game. 30 seconds left. He opted to let it run all the way down, kick the field goal. Now, there's all kind of stuff swirling around that, right? Did he really do it? Did he mismanage it? Was something blocking the clock? Whatever it was. Here's my take on this anyway. And before I bring in the co-host tonight, I want to talk about this because oftentimes we sit here as non-coaches. Let me start with that because you non-coaches be getting on my nerves, man, quite a bit. Maybe even you Pee-wee coaches that think y'all are NFL coaches and don't really understand what it takes to be at that level, right? So I've coached and I've made some, I'm going to say, calls that maybe people haven't had to make. And I'm going to give you a prime example, right? Because this is in a state regional round, so we're up there getting ready to go to semifinals. And I had to make a decision as a coach. It was we were up by 2. It was 14-12, and I didn't want to give the ball back to the other team because they were kind of catching the momentum. They needed a field goal to win, and it's just I had to make a decision on was I going to punt the ball back to them, give them a chance to drive back down, kick the field goal, or score a touchdown, or was I going to try to keep the ball? So it's 4th down now, and I decided I'm going to run a fake punt. No one knows about this. I don't tell them. Only person that knows are me and the punter. So everybody else is running the play. I have the punter catch the ball, basically haul ass and go run. Now, it was like 4th and 8. He gains 9 yards. We take a knee after that and win the ball game. So I got a lot of people talking to me afterwards. Man, that was a risky call. That was dumb. Or maybe that was whatever, right? We won the game. We won the game. Coaches didn't know I was calling it or anything of that nature. So I made a very critical call there as a head coach to try to do what I thought was going to be best for this. So now we're sitting here and we're talking about Mike McCarthy. No, I'm not comparing myself to him at all. But I am talking about, we don't know exactly what was going into this mindset. Well, I see people talking, about the clock, and I don't know if there's any truth to that. I don't believe that whatsoever. Them stadiums are too nice, and you ain't blocking no clocks in the doggone stadium. So I think the guy made a damn gutsy call. I think he had a conversation with this kicker and basically said, "Hey, man, can you do this? Just like I did in that game. Can we do this? Can we make this play? I need to make a very quick decision." And maybe he talked about that already because, hell, he hadn't been making short kicks. He's been making the long kicks, right? So I think sometimes we got to back up a minute, and we're not even excited about the win half the way because we're worried about those last 30, 32 seconds of the game on what he made. And he's having to defend that instead of saying, "Hey, coach made a damn gutsy call. Maybe he gets fired afterwards if he doesn't kick the thing." But that's what we got to do. We're the Dallas Cowboys. We've been asking for a lot all year. And our special guest that came on, he always talking about, man, we need something a little bit risky. Someone take some chances to do something creative and all that kind of stuff until they do it. So I'm really interested to hear what he's going to say about this. Is he going to say, "Hey, man, this is a coaching error"? When I know for a fact, when I was on his show, he was telling me about all the things that we needed to do. So I'm really interested to hear his take. So why don't we go ahead and bring JT and Big Game in to the broadcast. Thank you guys for joining us. Appreciate everybody. I see we got some people in the chat already. Got David Rogers, Craig Young. Hey, man, it's good seeing you guys. Bryce, don't worry about it. Stay in this thing. Be a part of it. So y'all sitting there in the game too. I don't know. I want to hear if y'all will be in armchair quarterbacks at post game. We got all these radio people talking that ain't never coached it down, but they just watching it. All these podcasters who think they got all the answers. And people, if you were sitting in that damn game, you know what y'all would do? Freeze the hell up. Would not even be able to make the damn call. You wouldn't know what to do, right? They're going to be checking the analytics stats. I'm sure JT going to go through that and tell me what he should have did and should did. I don't know. But we got all these people, man, that pretend like they know how to damn coach, and they don't know how to coach. They don't know what it is to be in a critical moment in the Super Bowl or in a high game like this when you're, man, you lost a one that you shouldn't have lost in Tampa. And then you go into this deal. Man, coach is trying to make it happen. So y'all tell me why the hell I got this wrong. I'm start with you, Big G.
Very easily, you were moving the ball anytime you wanted with the Rams. That was known. They were not stopping Dallas. Only time Dallas stopped them was themselves. So you were moving the ball down on this last drive. And so when they ran that ball up the middle with Tony Pollard, I'm thinking, okay, throw another little quick short pass and get them even closer because obviously they're going to go for this field goal. In my opinion, yeah, a lot of people haven't coached. I mean, I have coached. I haven't coached on your level. I've coached on, ninth grade level, not on the big level. But I will say that, in that particular time, that's a lot of time that went off the clock, big dog. That's like 24 seconds, and you were sitting there, and you could have got closer because what the thing is going to say is everybody was worried about Greg Zuerlein. I ain't going to front. I was worried about Greg Zuerlein. We know he doesn't kick them good short, but he does kick them good long, but he hasn't instilled any kind of confidence in me. I'm going to be honest with you. I saw him at camp. He's just coming back from back surgery. I know he made a few in that Tampa game, but he just wasn't really making me feel good. So for them to just say, okay, we just got this supreme confidence, maybe, Mike McCarthy going over to him like, yo, we got the supreme confidence in you. But yeah, you got that supreme confidence. And boy, if he would have missed, big dog, if he would have missed. So I know, but he didn't. But it's a field goal kicker. That's like flipping a coin.
Okay,
for real. That's like
because I see David Rogers got a thing in here. We'll come back to what he's saying about we worried about 30 seconds. But JT, let me hear your take on this.
Yeah, well, for me, I didn't really understand just what was happening. I just assumed the timeout would come, and at least you think about it. I thought at the very least, if you were like, okay, we want to take the long field goal anyway. Well, okay. First, let me ask: do they have one or two timeouts left? Because I don't remember.
Cowboys had one. The other team or the
I think they had
Chargers
3.
had all of theirs.
Yeah, they're 3.
So
Okay.
I bet he was sitting there waiting for them to call timeout, and they didn't. Right?
Yeah.
Because
Well,
you would think
I
now
I
they
just
got to.
thought it was. I'm watching the game and I was just kind of confused. I mean, if the purpose was to be risky and just take the long kick, I say fine because it was a tie ball game. Like those are the low pressure kicks, right? The low pressure kicks are where if you miss it, you go to overtime and you keep playing ball. The high pressure kicks are you're down by 1, and if you miss it, you lose.
See, here's what I'm jumping in. I'm sorry because I want you to think about this, both of y'all and everybody that's listening. As the coach of the Cowboys, now we just said about those timeout situations, right? Was there any fault on the other side by that other coach not calling timeout and forcing them? So think about it. You got to put both of these hats on because that coach now, he let the time run all the way down, so he don't even have no chance if you make it. At least if he burns the timeout, you're going to force the Cowboys to throw. I mean, it's a good chess match.
I think he was probably thinking that if you're going, I think he was taking a chance with Zerline. I feel like they didn't feel like they had the confidence with Zerline was going to make it. So I probably was running down the clock because Zerline ain't, I know he the Leginator or Greg the Leg, whatever his name is. He ain't been,
Legatron.
I don't care. Legatron, whatever.
Look
he
at what
just
David
ain't
says.
he ain't instilled no confidence.
I'm going back on the other coach. Look what he said. Our team wasn't hurrying back to the ball. They knew we wasn't in no rush. Why didn't he say, uh-oh, timeout?
Because you just ran down the field and you knew a timeout. All that was doing was just putting your defense back out there to get embarrassed again.
Well,
I think I would have said, "Hey, look," because if I'm the Cowboys coach, my default is I don't want the game to come down to my kicker.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather punch it in myself. So I think I may have called the timeout. But if I'm on the other side, I'm like, yeah, no, let's. If they're gonna kick a field goal, he's gonna have to show me that he can hit one over 50 and
56.
Yeah, you're gonna have to hit a 56 yarder.
If we lose on that, I don't feel bad. Like that's what I feel like he was thinking. Like 56 yards, he ain't instilling no confidence. Go ahead and try that. That's what I feel like he let it do.
Yeah,
56 yarders ain't easy.
Guess who's sick tonight?
You're right.
And the last night,
but
the other night. But anyway, I know
sick because of that Michael Parsons, though.
Yeah,
that's why they sick.
Down. Well, I know we definitely got to talk about Michael Parsons. But so anyway, man, on that, all I'm saying to everyone is, man, yeah, honestly, right? When I'm sitting there watching the game, I'm like, what are we doing? What is he thinking? I'm like, I think we all had a certain stress level. It'd be crazy for me to say I wasn't stressed at that moment. What the heck is going on? That's as JT put it. I just didn't know what was going on, right? But it became evident to me at some point, like he said, nobody was really. I don't know what he was saying in the headset to Dak or whoever else. Like, hey, we finna let the clock run down. I'm assuming he had to say something because Dak wasn't like looking like, hurry up, give me a call or nothing. There wasn't any stress by the players, unless I missed that. Maybe y'all can tell me. I didn't see any stress by the players at the time, so I felt like they knew what they were going to do.
Well, I'll say this: when I'm saying I want to see a little more aggressiveness and more guts from Coach McCarthy, I'm not talking about letting the clock run down and kicking a long field goal. I'm talking about it's 4th and 2. You getting beat up by Tampa, and you need a touchdown. Don't kick the field goal. Just go for it. Show me. You need 6 feet. That's the aggressiveness I want to see.
Man, y'all pick and choose. That's the thing, man. Y'all want to.
What do you pick and choose? That's a completely different situation.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. You're going to take every situation and try to make it to fit in your mold of what coach should have did.
Hey, well, I mean, at least I said it last week when we did the recap on the Bucks. I said it then. I said on 4th and 2, I really wish they would have gone for that one. And I said the same thing about Alabama. On 4th and 2, I was like, yeah, just go.
Okay. David, I don't know who you say you can't hear, but let me know who you're talking about. All right, so I'm gonna move on past this a little bit. Let's talk about Micah Parsons. Is he truly the best pass rusher on the squad? Now we know he's a beast. He can run. He can do all that kind of stuff. Now the hype. He's the best pass rusher on the team. Yes or no? JT?
Not yet.
Who is then? Who you putting in front of him?
I still think D-Law is still our best pass rusher.
Okay. All right. Big G?
I'm gonna say he's right there on the cusp. I'm gonna say DeMarcus Lawrence has better pass rush, maybe moves more because he's been in the league longer, but he's not a better pass. Michael Parsons is a better pass rusher than DeMarcus Lawrence by far. His athletic ability is better. He can get to the quarterback. See, the part with DeMarcus Lawrence, he's an average athlete, and the way he gets by is because of technique. He gets by he got good strength. He's got good technique. He's not one of those guys like a Micah Parsons, just an extreme athlete. And so when Micah Parsons, if you watched him in that hand fighting, he was doing those moves that DeMarcus Lawrence does, but he was getting to the quarterback because he has a second gear that DeMarcus Lawrence doesn't have. So when he sees it and gets you, he's going to put you on the ground. A lot of times DeMarcus Lawrence get there, the quarterback slides in, he misses it. He's a lot of times where he's very close and misses. That's not going to happen with Micah Parsons. I say Randy Gregory, but I haven't seen Gregory in a long time, but I think Gregory has that natural bend and natural pass rush ability that's just not teachable. You just naturally have it. So I think him and Micah Parsons are like this. DeMarcus Lawrence is a little bit back because the athletic ability separates Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence.
Okay, that's a good word. So are you a pro? He needs to be a defensive end guy. He needs to stay a linebacker. What is your take on what he needs? How they need to use him for the,
You just need him. I think you just need to put him in situational. I think you still need to keep him at that linebacker because you can blitz him. You can put him on the edge. You can put him right next to DeMarcus Lawrence and blitz them both off. Have him come off the side. There's a lot of things you can do him, or you can set him down. When they went, I think when against Tampa Bay, I think they went 3. It was D-Law, it was Randy Gregory and Micah Parsons when they went after him, and Brady got away with that ball quick. So you can mix and match. I don't want them to pigeonhole him, just put him at DN because he can do so many things. And I think you just need to use his versatility, not pigeonhole him in one thing. And I know people are like, just you got him at linebacker, just put him at linebacker. Don't start trying to switch him like Dallas always does. This kid is different, in my opinion, because he has the ability to be able to do all that. Some players you can't just put, okay, like Byron Jones, you moved from safety to corner. He wasn't that type of athlete like a Micah Parsons is. So he wasn't, it took the transition a little bit different. Micah Parsons is different. He can do those type of things. So no, move him around, keep him at linebacker, but yeah, put him in some situations where he playing DN too.
All right.
Hybrid.
JT?
Yeah. Can he play safety too? I mean, just wherever.
Corner?
He just needs to be on the field somewhere. I almost don't really care where, but I think the best use of Micah Parsons is if you have to, as a quarterback or as a lineman on the other side, you have to look around and find where 11 is. I'd rather him not be just like, all right, we're going to get in this formation and 11's going to be right here and we're going to fan and double team, whatever. I think his best use is just where you can get him all over the place. And when they're trying to set protections and they're trying to find the mic, they're also just looking around and being like, okay, where is 11? He was over here, but now he's over here, or he's back there. And then, I think that's where those might
change his number to 91 or something like that. And then
nah, he need to keep that 11.
It really could confuse some people. They already say they don't know how to identify people. Put them in a
listen. Number. I called him the Dak Prescott of the D when they first got him. He's gonna make everybody play better. I'm telling you, like Jalen Smith, he played really good Sunday. no missed tackles, and we know the limitations on him, and we know the other players. But I just feel like he gives a different type of spark. Even when I watched them against Tampa Bay, when he was rushing that quarterback, and I watched D-Law and those other guys, just in my opinion, they had an extra juice when he was going with them. They didn't have that juice. He brings this defense life and juice because of what he does. And it just makes everybody else want to step their game up. He's just infectious. Personality, his game, everything about him. I said he's just gonna take over this D. He's the leader of the defense, in my opinion. They're gonna follow him. I don't care who veteran's been there forever. That leader of the defense is Micah Parsons, period. And they need to follow him. So they need to let him roam, find mismatches, get after him, because he's going to continue to wreck offenses, and he's going to open doors for everybody else because of what he does.
What about the linebacker room now? Because you got some talent in there, right? That we're gonna be able to keep all these dudes. I mean, you got Jabril Cox. What's the other guy's name?
You got
LVE.
Keanu Neal, you got
Keanu
Jalen Smith,
Neal.
you got LVE.
I mean, there's 6.
Well, you got them 2 rookies for at least 3 years, so you got them for at least. Well, you keeping Michael Parsons. He ain't going nowhere. I'm talking about Jabril Cox. You at least got him 3. LVE, if he stay healthy, you can. I don't know if he probably want to try to go get big bucks. That would be on him, because I think there's going to be a market for LVE. So I think you can look at Keanu Neal. I think you could bring him back. I like where he's fitting in the defense. I think you could bring him back, and you can always draft. You can always draft linebackers.
Okay.
I don't think they're going. I don't know what they do with a Jalen Smith after this year. I can't say that.
That's true. I mean, I don't know. I don't know who's if we were having, who's on the bubble kind of thing of, if he does, because you have to put him on the field, right? And what do you do? And I guess if you're in a true 4-3 package, you could put all 3 of them in there, right? Because that will confuse some people, because you're almost, you can rush them, you can pass drop them, you can do all kind of stuff. Talking about Micah, but nickel, does somebody have to come off? What do you do? Do you put him up to be a rusher? Do you have him as a second linebacker?
I want to rush him on them third downs. And I want to see Jabril Cox. I feel like Jabril Cox, I understand, but see, here's the thing with Jabril Cox. They said he was a steal. They got him in the 4th round, right? They said, oh, he was a steal. He should have went higher. So that means if he should have went higher, he probably would have been playing early if he was with somebody else, right? So I just feel like, man, his ability as far as being able to have the coverage is like Micah Parsons might not be all the way there with that coverage, because he's such a natural pass rusher. He just gets after you. But Jabril Cox is really, really good in coverage. I mean, his ability to sideline, and his range is just nice. And he's 6'4". He has really good size. So I hope they can incorporate him soon, because the defense is considerably faster. I don't know how y'all feel about that, but when I watched the team last year, when running backs were getting on the outs, getting out on the edges, Dallas was struggling to match that. And I feel like when, especially when I was watching the Chargers running backs and the receivers, they weren't getting a lot of yards after catch. They were getting them down, and they were getting them down quickly because they were attacking the ball. And I like that. And I like what Quinn was bringing.
Okay, so hot take number 3. Zeke Elliott and TP. Well, what we got going on with these running backs down? You got 2 guys, put up a couple hundred yards. I mean, I know Pollard had over 100 and Zeke didn't. But now we got I don't know if we're calling them Zeke haters or what we're calling them or what it is. Is Pollard supposed to be the number 1 back now or not? What are we thinking here, JT? You watched the game. Yeah, he looks explosive and all that kind of stuff, but is it too early to be trying to talk about some kind of switch like this, JT?
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't think there needs to be necessarily a switch on as like Tony Pollard needs to be the number 1 back. I mean,
do they need to be 50-50? How about that?
Yes, they do need to be 50-50 or close to 50-50. I don't care. 60-40, 70-30, whatever. There needs to be more of a running back by committee. And I am saying that not because I don't like Zeke, but I think that if you're having Zeke carry the load, you're just wasting whatever you're paying Tony Pollard because he is a good back. You got two backs, so use them. I mean, the Saints did it all the time with Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara. They were still doing it even when they had Latavius Murray. Like if you have two backs, I think you should run both backs, and it doesn't have to be even, but I would hope that you don't have to game plan and just be like, yeah, well, one of those backs probably not going to play as long as the other one's healthy. I do think that I think Zeke looks, even though he didn't have the yards, I thought he looked better too. There was a time where he saw a hole, and I don't think I've ever seen him burst through a hole that way. Now, he didn't get a whole bunch of yards. He ran into a linebacker and a safety, and they got him down. But from that burst that I saw, I was like, oh, that's refreshing. That's something that I don't think we saw last year for whatever reason. I don't have any reason to think that Zeke can't do what Tony Pollard did. But if you have two backs that can both do that and they can play 4 quarters, I don't see why you don't play them both for 4 quarters.
Okay, big game. I'm going to let you answer that, but I want you to also add into the part of, do you think what he put on here about pass blocking, are we devaluing Zeke's ability to pass block, or are we not giving Tony Pollard enough respect about pass blocking as well?
Well, I mean, if I'll answer that at the end, I think what they need to do is they just need to keep it the way it is. I think Zeke is the starter and Tony Pollard is the backup. That's the way it needs to stay, because I feel like you need to beat up them defenses right quick, and that's what Zeke does. If you watch him, a lot of his good strong yards was those dirty yards up in the middle. People don't like tackling Zeke, and he's a hard tackle. So I like seeing him getting them tough yards. He was getting like 4 or 5 yards inside the middle. That's good, because if you can start on a 2nd and 5 or a 2nd and 6 or 2nd and 4, that's really good because options open. And also, I feel like what they did was the right thing, and I think they need to do this all year. I don't think they need to worry about the percentage of carries. I think they need to go with the high end like they did against some Chargers. Tony Pollard was hot. So they weren't worried about, oh, Tony Pollard played 3 plays. Now Zeke got to come in and play 2. No, don't do that. If you see Tony Pollard, he had 1 play, he got 3 yards. Next play, they threw a pass to him, he got 7 yards. Then they gave the ball back to him, he got 5 yards. If that man is hot, then you don't need to bring Zeke in. Keep on going into Tony Pollard till he gets cold, and then you bring in some Zeke. If Zeke is really hot, he's battering up that D, you keep him in. I think you just see how the matchup is going against that defense, and you go it accordingly. And also, yes, I don't think Zeke is underrated on his pass blocking. We all know about it. You should know from day one that Zeke was a blocker. He's always been that. Tony Pollard stepped up a little bit. I watched a little bit of all 22. They blitzed a couple times. He didn't get pushed back as far as being knocked all the way in the quarterback to look terrible. Obviously, Zeke is better in that aspect as far as blocking, but you just need to use those guys to what they complement. I think Tony Pollard is the better receiver. So you saw them throwing the ball to him. He had 3 catches for like 30 yards, 10 yards a catch. So you can see he played receiver in college. So use them to their strengths, but you need to start Zeke, keep Tony Pollard coming off the bench, and use the hot hand accordingly.
All right. Well, I got both of them in a couple of my leagues, and I'm going to end up starting both of them in my deals. I think they're a pretty good dynamic duo, and I'm really looking forward to that, especially once we get healthy up there up front. And, I'm really looking forward to it.
Shout out to Terrence Steele.
Yes, sir. Terrence Steele, man. Hey, when they ain't calling out your name for bad stuff, that's a great thing for them linemen up there. So we appreciate him too. So as we come to the end of this first half of the show on the NFL segment, let's talk about this next game. And not really have to dissect it on what they're going to do or what, but Philadelphia, Monday night. We're looking for the same type of performance. Do you think we're going to spread it out a little bit? Not spread it out. Get a bigger win, a bigger margin of victory? Or what do you guys think about this game coming up on Monday? Start with win and loss. Give me a score prediction. JT.
I think they win this game. It's Monday night. I am more impressed with the Eagles than I thought I was going to be at the beginning of the year. Now, granted, I didn't watch the entire Eagles game the first week or the second week, but I saw some good things. What concerns me more so with the Cowboys is how many points the Chargers took off the board themselves.
Mm.
That's what concerns me more than the Eagles themselves. Is just I'm still not totally sure how good this Cowboys team is, just because I mean they went toe to toe with the Buccaneers, which was great. And then you think they looked good in snapshots, and then when you go back and you look and you're like, oh, but I think like 21 points came off the board for the Chargers, and that's worrisome to me. I don't think that the Eagles can score like that though. So I'm gonna go Cowboys win 28-10.
Okay. All right. Let's go. Giving the defense a little bit of prop there too. All right, Big James.
I'm gonna go with that sentiment. I was gonna say by 2 touchdowns. I don't want to give a score prediction, but I'm gonna say definitely 2 touchdown win. I feel like the Eagles are going to be. It's going to be between Dallas and the Eagles still, in my opinion. Even though they lost to the Niners, I feel like it's still going to be Dallas and the Eagles for the division crown. Eagles always play Cowboys tough, but I just feel like when you look at the matchups, and especially with the defense, I don't feel like the defense is there yet, but they have the team speed, and I think that's the biggest difference now. They have better team speed, and they can rally around, and Dallas finally has some depth, and I like that. They got depth on their team, and Randy Gregory's going to be back too. That's going to be huge. So, and they're missing a couple players. Brandon Graham, I think, blew his Achilles. That's huge. He gives Dallas Cowboys fits. Notoriously, he's going to be out. And then they have their guard. I was just looking, Brandon Brooks. He's like an all-pro. He has a tricep injury. He's going to miss. That's huge for Dallas too, because you got them young boys, Osa, Bohanna, Brent Urban, Carlos Watkins is playing pretty well. So I feel like the defense is going to overtake them. And I feel like maybe they play hard early, but I feel like Dallas is going to get some turnovers in this game too. I feel like Dallas is going to get some interceptions and some sack fumbles. I feel like this is going to get at least 3 turnovers in this game, and Dallas is going to blow them out by the second half because I don't feel like they're going to have that defense in the secondary to start to really mess with Dak. I feel like Dak he just in the zone, man. He looked good. Like he looked good. Like he can just take the ball down the field whenever he wants. We just got too many weapons. We got a double tight end and Blake Jarwin and Dalton Schultz who look good too. I just feel like they're not going to have the defense to be able to stop, and Dallas defense speed are going to take over.
Okay.
2 touchdown win.
Good analysis. I appreciate it. And hello, Annette. Thank you for joining in, coming in, talking a little football with us. We do appreciate it. Craig says the Eagles are going to win.
Craig's being a homer.
Hey, Craig.
So here's what I'm going to say. AT&T Stadium about to be lit, fellas. It's about to be lit. Me and Consuelo going to be at the game. And who anybody else going to be there? Y'all better have this place hyped. Monday Night Football, AT&T, dude, it has to be lit. And I think and all the things that you said, you put that in there with the way that crowd is going to be coming out of COVID and be a full house. And, man, there's probably going to be fireworks and flames and cheerleaders and everything just moving around in that place. I feel like the momentum is going to be too much for the Eagles. I think they'll come in and try to put a good fight up. I think, Jalen is going to try to run around a little bit, but I think that we got too much momentum going on. I think what Dan Quinn is doing on the defense, there's still some things. I know JT mentioned, or maybe that was Wesley, was talking about Diggs making a big play and then giving up 5 plays, or whatever. But I think that the defense is going to prevail. We're going to do some things. I don't think Miles Sanders is going to be the answer for them, and I think we can cover those guys. Yes, you got Devontae Smith. I don't know what kind of matchup that's going to be with Diggs or who's going to have to cover him, but I do know we got to do something at that other corner, like really quick with something. I don't know what that answer is.
Anthony Brown ain't it, Chief. He's just not.
Just think, y'all. I was talking about this. I was just frustrated. You know, I know we got Kelvin Joseph, and I was at camp. He's a great athlete, but man, we had the chance to get Asante Samuel Jr. I wanted him so bad. He was so red. He was right there. If you had Trevin Diggs right now and Asante Samuel Jr. on the opposite side, dog, what was they? I ain't hating, but y'all could have got Asante Samuel Jr.
They don't go after DBs like that, man.
They
give me
don't.
5
But
like
man,
that,
I was
that
so
he was right. Kelvin Joseph was like an inch, maybe a little inch and a half high. He was not more pro ready than Asante Samuel Jr. He was not more pro ready.
Well, here y'all go. I hear it. I'm taking the Cowboys to win by 17. We're going to win by 17. I think we're going to get after them in a good way. David Rogers, thank you, guys. Thank you for being in. Blair, good to see you. Roll Tide. Glad you're in here. Bryce, keep up the good stuff in here. Now we got to flip for you guys for a minute, right? I want to be able to flip. Let's talk a little bit of college ball. I'm going to go dive right into Alabama just a little bit, just because, you know, that is a one hell of a football game. And I honestly, right, I think we can all kind of say, I don't know when the last time Bama's been in a barn burner all the way down to the end.
last year.
That probably was the first time, and maybe I should say it's the first time I really felt like I really didn't know what the outcome was going to be. Even when we struggled, I always thought it was going to be, we were going to win. This was the one time where I was like, ooh, man, after we got up 21 to
21-3.
21-3, and they started coming back and we couldn't move the ball, couldn't score, whatever it was. I was like, man, this ain't good, bro. We're down there in the swamp. They got this little gator chomp going on and all this kind of stuff. And kind of like what I'm saying, the Cowboys going to do that, just the momentum picked up. So what did this game do, fellas? How did it expose? Did it expose Alabama in any kind of way? The defense, something on the offense. What did Florida show or give to the people that are, Texas A&M, who will play the next couple of weeks, to say, this is how we need to beat Alabama? Big game.
Well, I mean, first of all, you're going to have a regression when you lose stars like that. I think that's the biggest thing. The offense, you just lost Mac Jones, you lost Devontae Smith, you lost a lot of guys. And I know they always replenish because it's Alabama, but I feel like that's one of the biggest things right there. There's going to be a little bit of a drop-off when you're coming in with a new team. I feel like you see it with Ohio State. You watch Ohio State, they had Justin Fields, they have Stroud now, and they're okay, but they don't look like the Ohio State like they were last year. I think there's just a little bit of a regression anytime. Plus, you playing in the swamp, dog. What you think? You think they go play? They played in the swamp. They gonna give you their best anyway. But I just feel like the offense isn't what it was last year, and I feel like it's struggling a little bit. And I think that's the biggest thing. I know they jumped out to that lead, but the firepower still. I feel like if teams are going against them now, I feel like defenses feel like they can attack them and probably shut them down, as you saw happen later on in the game. I think that's probably giving the teams confidence that they don't have the offensive fire from last year. So teams can feel like we can score on them and we can possibly win games. So that's kind of my thoughts. And y'all just be getting lucky, though. Y'all be escaping. Y'all be escaping, bro. Y'all be escaping, dog.
Whatever. What did she said? Ohio.
Yeah, I told you, she a Buckeye fan.
Aren't you a Buckeyes fan too?
No, don't do that.
Like a Buckeyes fan?
Don't do that.
North.
It don't matter. It don't matter. I'm Texas. and we in the SEC, and we already talked about this. How we gonna take some lumps? So this is our
are
few
you claiming
lumps
like Duncanville or DeSoto or something? What are you claiming here? What do you
Fort Worth?
Fort Worth. People don't say they from Fort Worth, man. Normally they say stop six or
stop six.
Something, man. You'll be out from Fort Worth.
Man, I mean, off Lancaster Drive.
Okay. All right. So All right. So JT, and I'm seeing the stuff come through about Pete and defense. I don't even know if he's really, who's really driving that ship on defense.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't think Pete is actually really doing much.
Yeah.
I think Pete is there for recruiting. He's not necessarily there to truly run the defense.
Mhm.
But the question was, did Florida show anything to future opponents on how to beat Bama? I'm going to say no. We couldn't run. Honestly, we couldn't run the ball against Miami either. Miami was just, they were sending more guys. The only reason that we looked like we could run the ball against Miami is because Miami can't tackle. And for a while, neither could Florida. And then Florida went into halftime and decided to actually like wrap some folks up, I guess.
Got chewed out.
And it was different. I don't think and as far as just like how do you beat Bama on offense? I mean, I think the formula has always been the same. If you can run for more than 100 yards, your quarterback doesn't make very many mistakes, and he's somewhat mobile. That's the recipe. That's how it's always been. That's how Ohio State beat them back in 2015 or whatever it was. That's how Ole Miss beat them when they did it twice. That's how Johnny Manziel beat them. They were able to run the ball. They didn't turn the ball over very much. And they had a mobile quarterback. So the key to that is actually bottling up the run, which we did for a half. And then it seemed like we did our tackling drills before the game, and we used the skills that we learned, and then we forgot at halftime, and Florida didn't do their tackling drills before the game. And when they came back out, they did their tackling drills before halftime, and it showed up.
Okay. I see you, Annette, talking about. He is proud. He proud of Fort Worth. He good. I was just down in his neck of woods over there. I went down there for an event this past Saturday. If y'all didn't see it, got to be out in the community, sign some autographs. Saw a ton of Cowboy fans. It's really, really nice. But it's just good to go down there just to go to Joe T. Garcia's or whatever the name of the Mexican restaurant is down there. I don't hang out the stockyards. I don't do all that kind of stuff. I don't got no cowboy hat. I don't got no boots. I know he wearing some boots probably right now. He's looking like
I got the cowboy hat in the back.
Yeah, he be over there jamming Old Town Road and all that kind of stuff.
We ain't
I know
jamming that. We ain't jamming that.
I know what kind of brother he is over there.
Wait,
dancing in the back.
We ain't playing that.
Anyway, so the running back Robinson. He just don't have the type of explosion that we need at running back, or I heard.
Oh no, he never did. He was never a burner. He's always been a bruiser.
So
but y'all like them big bruising backs.
We do.
Yeah, but those big bruising backs also usually have speed.
True story.
I mean, Derrick Henry didn't look like he was very fast until he was actually running next to somebody or running past somebody, I should say.
Right. Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't see Tessie in there. What's up, sister-in-law? Good to see you down in there too. Okay, well, so do we got any problems? Alabama defense. I know you're saying that, but are there any things exposed with that? Guys are hurt and all that kind of stuff. Is that something that we need to
I think our line is not what it normally is. I think they still have to figure out who that 5 is and where they need to be. I said it during the game. I don't know if DeMarco Hellams is that good. I don't know. I really don't. I need him to show me something. Outside of that, I think we're okay. I don't think that we have anybody on the schedule that is, with the exception of Ole Miss. I don't think that there's anybody else that's really to Florida's caliber.
You're not a Texas A&M?
I don't believe in Texas A&M's quarterback. They're still playing the backup. So until he can show me something and that he can move, because I mean, if he's just going to be trying to throw dimes all over the place, that ain't going to work. He's going to have to extend plays and move too.
Okay, so I'm not skipping over Southern Miss because I know we got that game. coming up this week. But big game. Alabama does have to travel to Texas A&M down there again. It's like going in the swamp, as you said. 12th man down there. Is that a trap game? We're listening to JT a little bit over here. Is that a trap game for Bama? Head over here into Texas and playing them boys.
No, I think they're gonna blow them out.
Run them out of town, huh?
Mm-hmm. They play early. I know the crowd will keep it, but no, I just don't feel like Texas A&M is gonna have what it takes this year. I don't feel it. I feel like they're gonna get blown out.
I got the Spiller cat. He's pretty good.
They getting blown out.
The other wide receiver, I know he a little hurt. I forgot his name. But they got a wide
Nah,
receiver
I
/
don't.
running back.
They're gonna get blown out.
So
Yeah, you worried about Texas A&M. I'm worried about the game before Texas A&M.
Southern Miss. You think this?
No, Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
They got Southern Miss, and then they got Ole Miss, and then Texas A&M.
Oh, I missed one. I'm sorry.
Yeah, see, you missed a critical one.
I did. It's okay. Where we play Ole Miss at though? At home.
At home.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. It's a little.
That's a little better though.
I was going to where we were going to go. So anyway, I think they're, Bama's looking pretty good. So let's talk about some of the other teams. I know we got some fans. We got some Texas fans. We got the Ohio State fans. Look like we got a little bit of everybody in here today. So JT had put some pretty good, interesting things out about the biggest pole jumps. Are we surprised by any of this? Let's talk about Penn State making that leap up. Are they number 6 ranked team? They went up 4 spots. Ohio State went down 1. Clemson went down 3. Miami just fell off the map. They're out. Right. Arkansas goes up 4. BYU goes up 8. Ole Miss goes up 4. So any of those really surprising to you guys? Just from those things? Are they all? Because I know we're always looking for that Monday or Tuesday for the things to come out. And which one surprised you guys the most, if any, at all? JT?
I don't know that anybody actually surprised me. I think I'm excited about this season just in general. And the reason I put this on here is because you're starting to get teams that you're starting to get a little bit of rotation. And I don't know if that's going to last forever. I don't expect that it would, but to see Arkansas kind of getting back to some form of relevance is nice. Clemson and Ohio State, I think, it's shocking in the sense that I think they kind of need help at this point. They're kind of too far away to win out and get in, because even with a win this week, Ohio State still found themselves down a spot. And honestly, that's because even though the score was 41-20, it wasn't that big of a gap during then. They still got some defensive problems. That's why they're switching up how they're doing their defensive staff, who's calling the plays. So I guess Arkansas is my biggest surprise. I didn't think Arkansas was going to be this good.
All right. Hey, shout out. It is always a family affair on Teague's Take. I see Jada Teague is in the house. Man, it must be either she really, really bored, JT, or maybe she loves us or something. I don't know. It's Tuesday night. She ain't down at the little happy hour place. I know it's late, but she tends to go to work and does some things and then go hit the little spot to chill and relax. So we're glad to have you here, Jada. We do appreciate it very much. Like I said, lots of family up in the house. So what about you? Big game, can you take your Ohio State hat off for a minute? Is Texas even in the top 25?
Texas received 22 votes.
We took that little L against Arkansas, man. They kind of beat us up because, like I said, it's Texas is, Sarkisian. He this is going to be at least a couple year process. I mean, we might do a few surprises this year, but I feel like they're going to get beat up a couple, maybe a season and a half before there's any kind of real notoriety of Texas coming again. We got to build those recruits up. A lot of them going out of state. Shoot, a lot of them go to Ohio State. Keep it real. A lot of Texas players go to Ohio State. It's frustrating. So once they get that kind of,
Ohio State, you
hey,
recruiting
I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Hey, but just even just talking about Ohio State, I'm out here, so I hear the rumblings, but people are frustrated about CJ Stroud out here. You get spoiled with a quarterback, with Justin Fields, and then before they had Hankins or Harkins, is it
Haskins?
Haskins, sorry. Haskins. So, I guess they're kind of spoiled by that, and he's having accuracy issues. But I just feel like Ohio State, when I seen them struggling against Tulsa, they're going to have some problems in the Big Ten. I don't feel like they're going to run through the Big Ten like they usually do. I think they lost a little bit of identity, and they're trying to figure out that. So I'm keeping my eye on that and how they're going to go through the Big Ten this season. Iowa, I'm keeping an eye on Iowa. They're 3-0. Are they going to run the table this year? I think we were talking off air that they don't play Ohio State this year. They're going to have some, good matchups in Iowa. They're notoriously one of those teams that they like the blue collar team. Iowa is never a flashy team, but they always just kind of get it done. So I'm like, just kind of keeping my eyes on Iowa. Pretty much those two squads, and then we talked about Notre Dame. Are they even going to have a fighting chance? But they got some schedule toward the end.
I see what you did there. They're going to have a fighting chance. I see what you did there. You did
babe. We'll see what they do. But when you guys were mentioning Clemson, that quarterback, I don't want to tear up his last name, but man,
Uyangalele.
Yeah.
Or Uyangale, not two lays.
Uyangale. Help. That's what he needs.
DJU.
he need help because he's struggling, and therefore that team is struggling. So it's funny when you see these guys that have been on top for so long, how quick they can fall real easy when you're trying to replenish that talent. And I think that's what these particular teams are dealing with right now.
Hey, let me go left on y'all real fast. And Claire's gone with this Go Irish stuff again. They not gonna make it. What happens now with the NILs? Hey, y'all thinking of Clemson? I heard he had got some nice little endorsements and some deals or whatnot. What happens when you just go bad? Does anybody really talk about that or what the repercussions are? That how those you're gonna start seeing college players lose sponsorships because they're not playing well and don't have anything to do with character. Typically in the NFL, they lose it for character issues, not, hey, y'all got a terrible record. Do you think some of that's going to happen, or once it's in, they're just going to roll with it and let them make that dough?
I think that I think it'll happen. I think there are certain circumstances where that will happen. I don't think it'll happen with somebody like DJU, because I think that Clemson's fan base, even if they are mediocre-ish, they're still going to have eyeballs and people are still going to be going to the games and things like that. It's the Nebraska's, for instance. Nebraska tanks and everybody kind of turns their back on Nebraska. Those guys might end up losing some sponsorships, because Nebraska Nebraska just might not be showing up no more. So I think the stronger your fan base is, the more durable those things are, because at the end of the day, a lot of those brands are local brands sometimes, and they're just trying to get people around the city or around the area to start eating at your restaurant or whatever it is. And as long as people are going, then I don't think you have that problem for the most part.
All right. Game.
I mean, I'd like to just see how much these sponsorships is, because just like you said, I mean, you ain't playing good, bro. You ain't playing good. People forget you. That's just the way it is. They don't, people. It's a big old hum. Everybody been talking about it. Oh, now the kids can finally get this, and the kids can finally get that. I feel like it's just it's that early fad, not like it's a fad, but it's that early, everybody wants to do it, everybody's gonna get it, but that stuff's going way down. It's gonna drop, and I feel like some people are gonna get used, and then some people are like, you know what, we ain't coming to that. We can't really afford to do this. We're gonna go another direction. I feel like you will see this in maybe the smaller schools, like he was saying, because that's just the way people are. People aren't the nicest, and everybody wants to be seen, and a lot of reason why they do this is to pump something else up instead of really the kid. The kid is really getting still used in this in the aspect, of my opinion, and it's going to be some issues down the line, I feel.
Okay. I agree. I think it's all going to come to some type of head, that whether or not they're playing well or not. I just think that the unintended consequences of the structure that we currently have is going to cause problems, just because some people making $1 million, some people not. I did have a private sidebar conversation with some in the know people this weekend, actually, about basically the non-star people having a way basically to almost unionize, if I can say it that way. So there's going to be a pool for those have-nots that saying, "Hey, man, we out here working too. We grinding. It ain't just them star dudes just helping us win. I'm running down on special teams, and I'm making the tackle, so I need a little something too." So they're working on ways to try to be able to help, and not just football, but soccer.
Yeah, and I think there's some companies, and again, Nebraska comes to mind. I think Colorado might have did it too, where there's a couple companies that were just like, look, if you're on the roster, you're getting a $500 check. We're just giving everybody the same, and it ain't a lot, but everybody gets some if you're on the roster.
Yeah, that's what they say. Everybody gonna get 500, but the other guy gonna get 500 G's.
500 L.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
where you
that's
get
right.
that
They
car?
gotta find
Why
that
your
funny
car
money.
nicer than mine, man?
Huh?
He said, why your car nicer than mine, man?
That's right. That's already going on. So, Claire, you got that right. There's gonna be the McDonald bags or whatever Tennessee was handing out. Some of them gonna have some burgers in it. Some other gonna have some burgers with some other little stuff in it. For real now, whatever. But I don't know. I'm not getting down there. I just think there's a better way. I've always given my deal. I think you should pay those guys, but they don't need to get it till after they leave the school. Incentivize them almost like retirement a little bit. Give them something they can invest in. Put that thing in the stock market and let them, when they graduate, hey, it's yours when you're 21 or 22 or whatever you leave. But I don't know. I really don't know if they're getting cash now and people are walking around with, or in their bank account, got a cool 50 G's. Man, that could lead us to some trouble on some college campuses, I believe. Them no parties and things. Anyway, I don't like talking about the negative like that. So, okay. So, top 4, we got Bama, Georgia, Oregon, OU sitting right now in that order. I'm going to let Big Game go first. Keeping those in there. What's up, Mendoza? Good to see you.
Mendoza.
Yeah, it's one of your boys, isn't it? It's one of your boys.
Mm-hmm.
Are those 4 going to be in the playoffs? If not, how's it going to change for you? Game. So I got Bama is 1, Georgia is 2, Oregon is 3, OU is 4. Right after them, Iowa is 5, Penn State is 6. 7 is.
I don't know about Oregon. Don't know
they
about
might not
Oregon.
lose no more.
Let's see.
Right. Okay.
I don't think it's going to be that 4 all the way down. No, I don't know who it's going to be, but I don't think it's going to be all that 4 going down.
Do you think Notre Dame makes it in? I'm asking for clarity.
Nah.
Do you think Notre Dame makes it in?
No.
Okay. Do you think Cincinnati makes it in?
That's a tough one.
Because I already know that you're saying Texas A&M's not going to make it. based upon what you said earlier.
What's
Or they still
Iowa?
got-
5.
Iowa's 5.
You better keep an eye on that Iowa team.
Penn State.
Mm-mm.
So right now
That quarterback is limited.
Okay, are you saying Bama and Georgia?
Yeah, I'm saying Bama and Georgia.
Okay, so that leaves you 2 spots. And you
Mhm.
saying Iowa
I'm saying keep an eye on that Iowa.
and
I think Oklahoma.
oh, okay. All right. We're gonna leave it there. JT.
I think, I think Oregon's suspect. I actually think Oregon's gonna probably end up winning probably the rest of their games. But if you look at their schedule, it is soft as cushions
Mhm.
because the Pac-12 as a whole is soft as cushions. And they don't have to play USC this year. Like it's going to be one of those deals where they might end up being undefeated and a one-loss team gets in because they won their conference and they just have a better resume. So I think Oregon gets the short end of the stick on this one. I'm interested to see this. Florida, Georgia just got a whole lot more interesting to me. Because at first I thought that Georgia was easily the runaway in the East. But Florida, I think, is better on offense than Georgia is. So I'm going to reserve judgment on whether or not Georgia actually gets in or not. But I like Penn State better than I like
Florida
Iowa.
or Georgia? You said if Florida beats Georgia, well, it's going to come down to the SEC championship at that point. It could be like what happened to Bama, right?
Say that again for me. I didn't hear you. I know everybody else did, but I think
so.
I
If you said Florida, if Florida beats Georgia, they play the regular season or only?
Yeah, they have to.
Yeah,
on the same
so
side.
Florida plays Georgia and beats them. One of them still going to end up in the championship, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they both will at least have one loss. Then let's say it's Bama, and Bama beats. Let's just say it's Florida. Florida beats Georgia. Florida goes to the. We have a rematch. We beat Florida again. Now they got 2 losses. Is Georgia going to be right back into the playoffs and Florida out?
And I think in very special circumstances, I think right now, no, because the reason this happened before is because there was such a huge gap in between like who the top 5 were and then like everybody else. This year, I think you can make an argument that nobody is good, that everybody is just all right, and somebody is slightly better than another team on any given day.
Except Bama and Georgia? Are you saying the breaking point is after 2? Is that what I'm hearing y'all say?
I'm saying that there is no breaking point. I think it's a grad. I don't think that Bama
There's
or
not
Georgia
one
are fired away better than anybody
team.
else.
Yeah, there's not one dominant team like it's been for last few years when there's this you don't really know that, but you just know of the talent.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see as it keeps. I mean, that's why we play the game.
Yeah, I really think the West is going to beat up on each other.
Well, that's what always happens.
No, and I think more so than normal because it's usually like, oh, if you beat Bama the one time and you don't lose the rest of your games, you can sneak in the West. I think there might be a whole bunch of teams with 2 losses on that side, and they're all going to be good losses to each other.
Yeah, just gonna make for your argument to go to 8 or 12 or whatever it is. Yep, I see you, Craig, down there. I see Craig says that Cincinnati jumps up to number 3. Craig, you always come up with some old crazy stuff, man. You be pulling stuff out.
Hey, Craig.
Yeah, I think again, Cincinnati just needs everybody to lose because looking at their schedule, that they got the same problem Oregon's got.
Yeah,
they got the same problem that BYU's got.
That's why I didn't mention them because they ain't playing nobody.
Their quarterback kind of true. Well, but they got somebody that's supposed to be up for the Heisman, or I don't know if that's going to work. It don't seem like he's playing that way now. But anyway, so um, I think that's it, man. There's so many other things that we could talk about, but we've been into our hour pretty much, so we need to shut it down. Maybe next week we'll come back and revisit this USC stuff, and is Urban Meyer really going to get out there?
He gonna get
See if Zach
somewhere.
Wilson has a better game or not. He threw them 4 picks. We'll figure out. I can't borrow your car. And JT had a really good one. I think we got to try to figure this out. But he said that I don't know what the SB Plus matrix is. But
Yeah, well, no, let me just mention it because this is kind of a running inside joke between me and Glenn, at least, because of the NCAA 14 video game. I tried to start a dynasty with a team that wasn't very good, and at the end of the season, you get offers to potentially leave and go somewhere else. And one of the teams that I started with was UConn. And I got UConn to some New Year's Six bowls. We couldn't get the respect that we needed to actually get to a national championship game, no matter how many times we went undefeated and how hard I made the schedule. But even after all that, I could not, the game just would not give me any head coaching offers anywhere else. So I was stuck with UConn just for the entire time that I was playing this particular dynasty. So now we all know that UConn is terrible. And what SP Plus does, they run all of these kind of metrics and they give each team a number and they put you in a percentile. And he has run these metrics all the way back to like the 1910s. And they rank right now in the 0.4 percentile of teams, which this metric is saying that the UConn football team today is the worst football team to have ever played college football ever. And I find it hilarious. And I think that it's probably true. They are a very, very, very bad football team.
That's bad. And it was even worse is I couldn't even get them to come recruit some of our guys at JP2. We had some dudes I couldn't even get them to come down here and take a look at our guys. And so, Claire, you mentioned about the JP2 schedule. So let me touch on that real fast. I am still the athletic. I'm not the head football coach at John Paul II anymore. Mario Edwards is. He did play at the Dallas Cowboys, played at Florida State. He ain't too happy to be talking about Florida State right now with me. But he is our head coach, and I'm only the athletic director there. So we do have so our division, as JT knows, he is one of the coaches on our staff as well. He's actually been not calling the plays, but maybe signaling the plays or speaking.
Yeah, I've been doing my part on offense and defense, trying to get plays relayed in.
Yep, Coach Edwards got him doing a whole lot of stuff. So we're about to get into that grind of it. She talks about Prestonwood. Prestonwood's a very good football team. They're right up the road from us. They ended up beating Capel, which is a big, large 6A public school.
They hung up 55 on Capel.
It's they're normally good, but this is like a different kind of good this year. Unfortunately, we're going to be limping to our game with two of our best players not there, right? Our quarterback and our running back. So coach is going to have to be game plan very well for that. And then we will have Nolan, as she put, next week we'll have to go to Nolan. We'll have to reassess where our injuries are, but they still may be out that week before we catch the bye after that. So we're going to hurry up and get to the bye so we can get healthy, things of that nature. Then we're going to head out to Midland. Yeah. I'm catching a plane. They taking a bus. I'm catching a plane to Midland. It's 6 hours from here. I ain't driving. I'm the AD now. I'm going to be on the plane, going out there and catch it that way. So anyway, a lot of good stuff going on though with JP2 as well. We're still grinding, still doing our thing. A lot of our sports teams are really, really good, and we do support or like to support when you guys just come out and watch or give donations or whatever it is. So Clara, thank you very much for being who you are, and I hope to see you at the game at NOLA because I'll be there. We'll catch up. All right. So thank you, JT, for those metrics. Big game. I don't know if you understand what he's talking about because I really don't.
I just heard that they was the worst team ever. I mean, I believe it
Yeah.
because the only time I ever think of UConn, I think of basketball.
Yep.
That will be true. That will be true. But that's so much. Big game. Thank you so much for popping in and always shooting the knowledge the way you do, keeping it real. Make sure that you guys follow him. So, Big Game, why don't you tell us about your social media handles and your weekly show or the show that you do on YouTube as well?
Yeah, you can check me out. I switched my channel. It's no longer Silver and Blue Nation. It's strictly Big Game James now. Excited. We just hit 10K on YouTube, so excited. So if you want to go over there and be a subscriber on there, also got a Facebook page, Big Game James as well. We almost up at 20K over there. So continue to support it. We, just you know how we do, G. We just talk the truth, just speak it as what we see, and we have a good time and a lot of good breakdowns, film breakdowns, all 22s, everything that you like. A lot of good metrics, things of that nature. So it's it's a lot of good things that I think you'll like, and it's a real show. So usually we do the final word every Tuesday. And then I just do shows during the week. I don't really do the schedule. It just kind of how we do it. But if you would like to check out, I do a play-by-play on my show on Sundays now. I do exclusively solo. I do a play-by-play official, not just, hey, that was a great pass. No, it was official play-by-play. So if you want to check out the game and you might not be able to watch the game, you can always turn on my channel right then, and you will be able actually to follow the game how I call it.
Well, that would be cool. I'm going to barge in on your show one of these days. And
Check it out.
On an away game. Maybe I'll pop it because I plan on being there when it's at home, but maybe on one of those away games.
I'll keep you right. You will be able to understand the full game by listening to it.
I'll throw in some color commentary for you.
Hey, we can always jump in there and do a play-by-play color commentary. Whenever.
So there he is. Make sure you guys go find him at Big Game James definitely on YouTube, Facebook. He does a great job. He is informed. He watches the games, goes back and analyzes the films, and it's not just the fan base kind of thing. That he's a good news channel, if I can kind of put it that way. So it needs to be. You guys need to go check him out because he does keep it hype, keeps it real, does his deals. Very good stuff. So that's good. And here's where I'm going to end the show. Claire, you might like this. You lost again in the fantasy football game. Man, you got to get better, man. You got to get better. I'm just going to keep these on $20 you put in the pot. So with that, I'm going to end the show. Oh, yeah, look at stop. No, it's stopped. The show is over, man. Hey, man, it's been a great one. We had some laughs. We talked some real football. We talk college. We talk pros. That's what we do on Teague Take every week. We're going to see you back here next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, live on YouTube and Facebook. Who knows what we're going to talk about next week? But hopefully I ain't talking about Claire losing another fantasy football game. I'll see you guys later, man. Deuces.